Hayward, and welcome back to Talk to a Hawk, the video series where we take you inside HNU Athletics. My guest with me today is our athletic director here at Holy Name, Cesar Cardenas. Cesar, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. So we'll get started here. What are some of your favorite sports that you either like to play or like to watch?
Well, really, I'm a sports fan just in general, so I like watching a lot of sports. So I watch a lot of college football, baseball. Soccer was my sport growing up, so I still watch that a little bit. I really didn't watch much basketball until I first came to Holy Names back in 2006. Got to travel with the teams a little bit and really started enjoying watching the game. So now I watch a little bit of basketball as well, mostly college, but a little bit of the pros. So really, I watch a lot of sports.
And you briefly actually played soccer in college for a little while. Tell us a little bit about your playing career.
Well, my playing career was cut short a little bit based on some mistakes I made personally, but ultimately I played a little bit of baseball and soccer growing up as a kid, and when I got to a certain age I committed to soccer full time. Played at a pretty high level, ended up going to a junior college, Chabot specifically in Hayward where I'm from, and ended up playing 1 year there before I kind of wasn't able to keep that going. But ultimately, you know, I did end up dropping out of school, not playing anymore after my one season. I did score 1 goal in my career, so I'm in the record book somewhere, at least as maybe not record books, but at least in the log somewhere that I scored for Chabot. But yeah, ultimately ended up going back to school after taking a few years off and realizing that I did want to finish my degree, and then ultimately ended up getting my master's as well. But yeah, that's kind of my career in a nutshell.
So after you stopped playing soccer, you ended up working as an athletic trainer. How did you first get your start into athletic training?
Well, that kind of goes into the whole story, I guess, of my whole career. But ultimately, I was working in a job that I didn't really enjoy, and I knew that I needed to go back to college to study something that I would enjoy and something that I could do for the rest of my life. And sports, like I said, has always been there for me. It's always been something that's been interesting. It's been fun. It's been challenging for me. So I started looking at different careers inside athletics that I could pursue. Ended up taking an intro to sports medicine class at Chabot College, and one of the best athletic trainers I've ever met, who's still there today, Dan Miller, took me under his wing after I showed some interest and some promise. Asked me to be a student athletic trainer the following year. Ended up helping out with football and some baseball games and soccer up there as a student athletic trainer. And right around that time is when I made the decision that that's what I wanted to do. So ended up graduating from there and heading over to San Jose State, where they had an athletic training education program to finish my undergrad degree.
And then how long did you work as an athletic trainer?
Well, I'm still a certified athletic trainer now, so I still maintain my credentials and my continuing education units. But right after I graduated from San Jose State, I actually came to Holy Names. That was my first time here. I served as the head athletic trainer here for about a year and a half, year and 3/4.
And then how did you kind of transfer over from being an athletic trainer into athletic administration?
It was after I left Holy Names back in 2008 that I was working for Cal State East Bay. I was not working as an athletic trainer at the time, and they had someone leave from their athletic training room, and I was able to split time between the position I was doing and the athletic training room. So I got back into that, or I should say I continued in athletic training at that point. But while at East Bay, a position opened up to be a facilities and events coordinator for their athletic department, and it was something that was interesting, and I wanted to give it a shot. Ended up applying for the job, got it, and I ended up doing that job there, starting out in kind of game management and facilities. And then ultimately from there is when I got the opportunity to come back here and as an associate AD.
So you mentioned that you're from Hayward. Does it have any special meaning for you to be working at a school that's so close to your hometown?
It does. My wife and I were both from Hayward. My wife was born down south, but she relocated to Hayward when she was pretty young, so we both consider this home. You know, we feel blessed. We have both our families are in Hayward in this area. So for us to be able to find a place that keeps us close to our what we call home and to our family is pretty fulfilling. So yeah.
So take me through a normal day in the life of an athletic director.
A normal day. Well, in the life of an athletic director, there's always meetings, different things we need to make sure other areas on campus are all aware of what's going on. So I have various meetings throughout the day, um, paying attention to budget matters, and that always takes up a good portion of my day. And then lastly, I guess, it would be the actual getting to attend our athletic events. Ultimately, that's the most fulfilling part of my job, getting to see our student athletes compete, even though it's probably the one I get to do the least of. But yeah, that's probably a typical day, I would say.
And then what are some of the biggest challenges that you face in being an athletic director?
Well, in today's climate and with education the way it is right now, it's always resources. That's the biggest challenge we have. Nobody has unlimited resources, so it's always the challenge is always allocating the current resources you have to the best of your ability. And then the backside of that is working on things so that you can get more resources, whether that's fundraising, working on sponsorships, whatever it is that will help increase your resources. But yeah, resource allocation is probably the biggest challenge.
And then what's one thing that you would like to see Holy Names accomplish this year, either you personally or facilitating Holy Names to accomplish one certain goal?
Well, ultimately, as most of you probably know, we are in our transition to Division II. So the goal we have set for this year is to hit all the landmarks, hit all the milestones we need to as far as that transition is, and to ultimately get to be moved on in the process. So that's the goal we have. That's what we're all working towards, and we're looking to get that done.
All right, well, Cesar, thank you for joining me today. It's all the time we have on Talk to a Hawk. Join us next time when we take you inside HNU Athletics.